Well, good morning. Welcome to the San Francisco Navigation Center, everybody. Thank you. Um, Let me first say that we're never giving up on the goal to try to help everybody the best way that we can. It doesn't mean that past programs have been wrong in any way or short in what we designed them to do. All it means is that both government, the community, the private sector should constantly review everything that we do in order to do it better. And when it comes to homelessness, what a challenge. It's never easy to do the things that we want to do. And then after we've accomplished that degree, it's always about improving on that and doing even better. And so I want to say thank you to everyone, including my predecessor and those mayors before him, for doing everything they could at the time, and certainly working through the greatest recession that we've ever experienced to try to help people that have home problems, but also have other issues that prevent them from long-term housing. We're at a point today that we're pretty lucky in San Francisco to be feeling the advances of a strong economy. When we have that, we're able to talk with much more clarity the things that we want to do and the outcomes that we want to accomplish. But we also need to learn continuously from what we've done in the past and improve on it. I know many of you are here today, have been a part of advancing a new approach, and I want to say thank you to everyone that's surrounding me, from our Board of Supervisors. They're here as a strong advocate here, and a special thanks to each and every one of them, actually. All of them in some way have helped us get clarity about what we were trying to do here, what we're trying to do with the Homeless Connect, with homelessness in general. Many of them have advanced a lot of the goals that we wanted to have in the entire challenge of homelessness through their districts. So I want to thank the entire Board of Supervisors, each and every one of them. Many of them stepped up for this navigation center as well. Mark Farrell's been constantly meeting with me about the ideas here and how it relates to other issues he's doing. I want to give a special thanks to Supervisor David Campos, because he specifically and his staff went around to work with us with the neighborhoods here, because it's a sensitive topic and people have to understand what we're trying to do here. And I do believe that, just telling Supervisor Campos that the temporary nature of this causes us to focus on outcomes, which I think was very welcomed to be discussed in this neighborhood, but also to take care of a lot of the homeless issues here immediately as we branch out to the rest of the city. Chief Sir has been a very intricate part of this idea as we sat down and engaged what he was doing on the streets and all the challenges that his staff was going through. And of course, they would be the loudest voice in saying, we can't just move people around. We've got to have a place for them to go in the long run and services to support that. The interfaith group has been at the heart of this entire idea of the Navigation Center. I want to just, again, thank Michael and Rita for your leadership, the entire Interfaith Council, because without you, this could not have happened. And they, through their collaboration with us, became the venue through which we were able to receive some very serious resources to be able to open up and do this. And when we got those resources, at their blessing, and I'm using that term in a loose way, that vehicle had, more than a vehicle, their faith in us, working together with them, with the private sector, government agencies, police department, HOPE, and all the other service providers that are reflected here. I think that they were not only sold on it, they helped lead it. I want to thank the city agencies, from the city administrator to our public health director to human services, to all the different agencies that are putting their services on this site for us, because to have a newness to this, we have to have the enticement that you're going to get people on the streets will get help. They won't come into a place. Many of the people we're going to deal with are people that have learned, maybe through harshness or through their own direct experience, they won't go into the shelters. They won't even be offered, they won't even respond to legitimate offers of housing, simply because their own issues of security, the issues of their health, are ones that they feel challenged, and maybe they feel even safer on the streets and in the alleyways and under freeways, because for them, their own survival is at stake. And so we are beginning to understand a little better the survival tactics that people have learned and implemented to control their own lives, and try to offer an opportunity for them to get out of the streets. This is a continuum of services, of ideas, of support to get people off the streets. I happen to believe, and I know all of the folks that are standing here believe as well, living on the streets is not a good thing. And as acceptable as the weather might be, as generous as storefronts and visitors and people who give you cash might be, as lovely as maybe the diversity that happens on the street might be, living on the streets, particularly when you watch what happens in the evening and at nights, is dangerous. And it's one that I do not encourage anyone to have to participate in doing. And of course, the early stories, I was forced to do it. Now I'm used to doing it, rather than I'm still seeking an alternative. We have to come up with more alternatives. That's the challenge. And that's why all of the different entities are working together with me to find creative and more exciting ways. And I want to say again to Bevan, keep coming with the ideas. No idea is to be rejected. And whether it's helping people get out of inebriation in a more creative way, or getting them the psychological support that they need, or giving them a respite, or whether it's Homeless Connect and the constant 24-hour service we have now, or now this navigation center, it's all a continuum of ideas that we have to convince people we are truly wanting and desirous that you connect up with your families, that you have a home, a true home, or that we connect up with you here, provide a level of service so you can get to a point of making a more responsible decision with all of us, and that at the end of this navigation center, we will have long-term housing opportunities for people. Now we're talking about hundreds of units being identified. We already have, in our estimation, 100 units to back up what we're doing at this navigation center. And we are working with our residential hotel providers, who are business people in their own right, and they have been offering us opportunities to work with them in the long term, as well as, of course, the developer community in building our affordable housing. You know, I say that we have spent billions of dollars each year to ensure that people get services, whether they're transitional age youth, they're seniors, they're veterans, families, or single mothers. And we've had very creative programs. Whether you're calling them Healthy San Francisco, Housing First, Treatment on Demand, Project Homeless Connect, even my latest announcement of Project 500, we're trying our best to really reach into the most impoverished families and say, we want an outcome that you believe in, that you will help us form in order to end intergenerational poverty. We're not going to end these ideas. We're going to keep investing in them, trying to figure out what works best for everybody. The ultimate end is people. They have to believe in it, they have to invest themselves in it, and then they have to participate in it. Just like when we did the State of the Union, the story of Nicole Banks and what she did to navigate all of the way through for her own family success. I think that idea and her pronouncement speared our efforts, steered our efforts to call this a navigation center, doing it better. There is a lot of people to thank, but I want to begin by thanking the people right up here that are behind me, from Public Works to Public Defender to Adult Probation to Mayor's Office of Disability. You know, Public Works has spent, I talk about an emergency contract. I have to give kudos for you, Mohammed. You guys did a great amount of work. So what was this before? If you were here literally 3 months ago, you would have found an abandoned school site. Thank goodness the school district was smart to be able to work with the city on this. This was an abandoned school site for many years, and I know Supervisor Campos knows it firsthand. Often he and I, probably on different schedules, peered through the fence. Why can't there be something positive here rather than a fenced-up place? These portables were used as classrooms. Over the years of neglect, they were broken into. There was no copper wiring in the entire place. I wonder why. Nothing worked. And of course, as neighbors moved in and around, they often also wondered what was going to be the focus of this place. Well, we do have a focus. The long-term focus is that this will be the place for 125 brand new units of low-income housing that will be built here, hopefully within less than 18 months. All of the process is going through that. And as supervisors, I know all of you, not just Supervisor Campos, every one of you have had the challenge of providing low-income housing, transgender aged youth housing, all of that, and you just want it speeded up. So we're of course are speeding up. But while that's happening, Public Works, working with Trent, working with Barbara Garcia, working with Homeless Connect, and Bevan, of course, guided us about what was needed if we're going to be able to welcome in groups of people who would never come to a shelter by themselves, who feel they wouldn't be able to survive in a shelter or can't find the housing. Groups of people. Yes, we call them sometimes encampments, but I call them groups of people because they are people that have formed alliances, formed trust among each other. They're living on the streets. We need to get them in here. We will invite groups of people to live here. This we will have as the very first building that you see there is the beginning of the navigation center, where people will come in and get interviewed about what their needs are and how we can accommodate health care, how we can accommodate social services, how can we accommodate immediate needs to get them food and shelter. They'll be invited to sleep here for a period of time. And then just to the right, the most important portable is the services that we provide here on site that will get them into a conversation with us. What is their need? What is their outcome that they want? How can we help them get that outcome? This will not be a center where you can just come in and go out and feel free to come in and go out and do your thing on the street and come back here and find respite. That's not what this navigation center is all about. This navigation center is our serious attempt. Come in here, get a shower. There'll be showers for men and women. Come in here, get some support, get some food, and let's talk. Let's get down to business about your life. Let's get to that serious business so that we can offer the other services that we ought to provide in a very humane way and sensitive way. You know, I am constantly barraged by a lot of comments by people about what's happening on our streets. And I know from my predecessors, I know from our experts, it's not about moving people off the corners. It's never about that. But it is about making sure we care about their lives strong enough that they can come in and get services and support. That's what Homeless Connect is all about. That's what we offer here. But there'll be rules here as well. When we offer people the opportunity to be here and change their lives, then let's get to the business of changing your lives. And whether it's Homeward Bound, giving you another great connection to your family, wherever that might be, we will help with that. If you want to be in San Francisco, and San Franciscans always want to support people are already here. We're going to provide you with those services to get you there. And when we say permanent long-term housing, whether it's a residential hotel or other places, they're also going to be matching up as much of those on-site services as we do here so that we can continue the support for individuals so they don't end up with a false hope or a false promise or a disengagement that happens along the way. This, I believe, will work. I know it's cutting edge. I know it again, allows our city to come together tightly with so many of the services, but put them in a focused effort. I think it will succeed. I know the other entities here have a lot of hope in our effort to do this. I know that's why people like Bob Linsheed and the Chamber are here. They're going to be of support. Our school districts here, so many other agencies want us to succeed in this. In particular, the neighbors want to succeed in this because I think we honor them by having the best programs come together. So with that, I'm going to let Bevan Dufty and Mohammed Nuru walk you through a little tour so you can understand what we're doing here. And then within this month of March, we'll begin the individuals. This has a capacity of about 100 people, but we believe that 75 people at one time is probably going to be its capacity so we can give quality support for folks. So our Director of Hope, Bevan Dufty.
We would not be here without the mayor having put out his call, so I just really want to give him a huge round and saying thank you for asking that people step up to help the city end homelessness. I'd just like to acknowledge that Peter Avila is here. He's the principal of Marshall Elementary School, and so we're so thankful that the school has embraced us. Many mission leaders and community organizations are here, and I'd also just like to acknowledge the members who were the first faces I saw when we came here to open the gates from La Colectiva de Mujeres, all the women who are here to support us and said that they would like to see families help. And with that, we also wouldn't be here without the San Francisco Interfaith Council, and our executive director, Michael Pappas, is here.
25 years ago, a mayor of San Francisco appealed to faith leaders to partner in addressing our city's growing homeless challenge. He asked those faith leaders if they would open their hearts, their doors, and their kitchens to offer dignity, shelter, and food to those who, for a variety of circumstances, could no longer help themselves. With that response came the birth of the San Francisco Interfaith Council, whose core mission for over a quarter of a century has been to host the city's interfaith winter shelter, and more recently, to support the critical and collective work of the faith-based social service agencies that provide the social safety net for our city's most vulnerable citizens. Fast forward 25 years, this mayor, Mayor Edwin Lee, called upon our council to again partner with the city, this time on a pioneering initiative that would engage the extraordinary generosity of a private sector donor, a highly choreographed collaboration of city departments and nonprofits to provide immediate and direct services to those you and I encounter on the streets every day. At its core, the Navigation Center will benefit those who receive needed kindness, respite, food, shelter, and services. On a whole other level, it is creating a new and innovative culture that is fostering community and creating opportunities for those with resources, those who care deeply about the fragile and rich fabric of San Francisco, to work hand in hand with nonprofit agencies, many of whom have been providing this sort of care for over a century, as well as with the officially sanctioned city entities that are charged with ensuring our collective public welfare and safety. This creative collaboration is nothing less than San Francisco values at work. Mayor Lee, the San Francisco Interfaith Council thanks you for your trust and for inviting us to once again collaborate with the city to respond to a need that is so central to our core mission. We are grateful for the extraordinary donation to our organization that has made funding for this pilot possible, and for the sincere spiritual selflessness of the donor who preferred that attention be extended to this important work rather than to himself. May his example of quiet generosity be one to be emulated among his peers. We are grateful to the mayor's staff, and here I would be remiss if I did not take just a moment to thank Deputy Chief of Staff Jason Elliott, Director of Strategic Partnerships Colin Lacken, and of course our Director of Hope Bevan Dufty for their guidance in navigating us through the machinations of government so that together we could meet the project's many time-sensitive deadlines. And finally, I am personally indebted to the Chair, Executive Committee, and all of the members of the San Francisco Interfaith Council Board of Directors, many of whom have joined us here today, along with our founder and Human Services Agency Commissioner, Rita Semmel. When we received the call, they exhibited visionary leadership in embracing this collaboration and did everything in their power to ensure that our organization met and exceeded its fiduciary responsibilities as a nonprofit so that our donors' intent could be met. Allow me to close with this thought. Prophetic voices of faith throughout the ages remind us that history will judge the greatness of society on the degree to which it takes care of those in the greatest of need. No doubt, history will smile on the hope that will be given to the countless souls who will inhabit and be cared for on this site. Thank you.
As the mayor indicated, every member of the Board of Supervisors has visited this site before we open, and we're incredibly proud of the partnership. All of them have come and shared with us the hopes that the Navigation Center can help better respond to homelessness in the districts that they represent. And so now I'll invite up the President of the Board of Supervisors, London Breed, then Supervisor David Campos here in District 9, then Supervisor Farrell, and Supervisor Jane Kim.
Good morning, everybody. Today is an absolutely beautiful day for a new beginning. And this Navigation Center will be a beautiful, brand new beginning for so many people. I'm excited to be here today along with my colleagues from the Board of Supervisors to just thank Bevan for his creativity. Homelessness is not an overnight problem, and it won't be an overnight solution. All of the organizations that are here today, Homeless Youth Alliance, who served us so well in the Haight-Ashbury neighborhood, and other organizations who are rolling up their sleeves to make sure that the service providers are here at this Navigation Center, is going to be a game changer for our city. I know that we've had some challenges, and I think that this is really going to change homelessness in San Francisco. We have to continue to work hard to come up with new, innovative ideas if we want to tackle this problem firsthand. And so I just want to thank the donors. I want to thank the Interfaith Council for their generosity and their continued support. All of the department heads, I know Mohammed Nuru and DPW have been really working hard to get this place up and running. And I want to thank the neighbors here in the Mission District and thank Supervisor Campos for realizing that homelessness is not just based on our districts. Homelessness is a citywide issue, and we all have to step up to the plate and participate and work together if we want to change people's lives for the better. I'm really excited. I can't wait till the doors open. Thank you all so much for being here, and let's get started.
Thank you, President Breed. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Welcome, everyone, to the mission. And I want to begin by thanking the incredible mission community that from the very beginning, where we started to talk about this process, unlike what you would expect and perhaps you would see in some parts of the city or the country, people were not saying, not in my backyard, but how do we help? How do we help people? And I think that's the spirit of this incredible neighborhood. The Mission is truly a special place. And I really want to thank the neighbors. I want to thank Bevan, acknowledge the principal of Marshall Elementary School. I want to thank all the amazing nonprofits that are here. This would not be possible without their involvement. I especially want to acknowledge the work of my staff in my office, Carolyn Goosen, who's here, who has been instrumental in working with Bevan and his team. And I'll be honest, Mr. Mayor, I don't know that something like this could be possible without the creativity, just the skills that Bevan Dufty brings to the table. I think we're very lucky that he is in the role that he is, because he has really been someone who's been kind of a conductor of an orchestra with some pretty talented players that are here behind us. But it took someone to actually put it together, and Bevan did that. But I will simply note this. I am very proud to be a part of this effort. We had a breakfast at the Chamber of Commerce yesterday, and I'm grateful that the Chamber of Commerce is here, where we talked about the tremendous prosperity that San Francisco is seeing. But there is another side to that prosperity. We are also the most unequal city in the country, and we see that out on the streets. And I think that it's a testament to who we are, that we are saying that it's simply not enough for us to have prosperity, that we need to make sure that we take care of those who have the least, because ultimately who we are as a city is defined precisely by how we treat those who have the least. And in the city of St. Francis, homeless people should have a place to go. And I am grateful that, unlike some of the things that we have seen, where unfortunately we have seen the Board of Supervisors pass laws that tell homeless, don't sleep in the parks, don't sit on the streets, on the sidewalks. Instead of actually continuing to go down the path of criminalizing homeless people, we're actually giving them a place to go. I'm very proud of that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Supervisor Campos. And I will say, next time we come here, the city's going to fund some sunscreen for everybody out in the crowd. I want to thank everyone behind me and everyone that's out in front today. My colleagues on the Board of Supervisors for all of their support around this issue, to Supervisor Campos in particular for his leadership in the Mission District, to all the city agencies, to Mayor Lee for your leadership. And just to echo, I've never seen Bevan Dufty so happy. Bevan, thank you for all of your leadership on this and your enthusiasm and creativity. Without you, obviously, we would not be here today. I'll say two things. First of all, to echo some of my colleagues, homelessness is an issue that affects every single San Franciscan. It affects every single neighborhood. It affects visitors. But above all else, homelessness in our city, and this issue that we tackle and have been tackling for years, is a human issue. These are our mothers, our fathers that are on our streets, our brothers and our sisters. And we would not be who we are as a city of St. Francis unless we made this a priority. So I am so proud to be here today at the Navigation Center as we open this up to continue to send that message to the city of San Francisco. And second of all, to me, this Navigation Center also sends a message that City Hall and our city government will no longer accept the status quo, that we will not be afraid to break the mold. We will challenge what we've done in the past, because there is a better future for our homeless here in San Francisco. And today is just the beginning. Thank you very much.
Several years ago, when I had joined the Board of Education, I remember the feeling of feeling like we never had enough. We never had enough teachers, we never had enough pens, we didn't have enough paper. And it was midway through my time in office that I actually realized that there was one thing that the school district had too much of, and that was land. And we spent some time really thinking about what our surplus property plan would look like. And at the time, and still to this day, the achievement gap is the #1 priority of the school district. But we all know that the achievement gap is really the opportunity gap. And so we started thinking about, well, what if we could generate value from our surplus property? Now, the automatic thinking is often dollars. And when our consultant came to us, they said, let's build market rate housing on this site. This used to be the site of Phoenix High School. But we weren't satisfied with this answer. And at the time, Supervisor Campos was the general counsel at SFUSD, and we all had long conversations about it. What if we could generate a different value from our surplus property that could help us close the opportunity gap? What if we could build grocery stores where kids didn't have access to fresh and healthy food? What if we could build housing, affordable housing for teachers and family, if that is also part of what is keeping our kids insecure and keeping them from succeeding in our school district? This was a long and multi-year process, but I'm really excited. When I came to the Board of Supervisors, actually this part of the mission was in the district that I represented, that I was able to continue working with the mayor my first year to figure out with the Mayor's Office of Housing and Supervisor David Campos, who is right at the boundary line, how we could build affordable housing on this site. And I'm so excited that that has gotten expedited actually in the pipeline, and that will become a reality. But in the meantime, while we're waiting for affordable family housing to come to this part of the mission, something actually that this community fought for many years, that we're going to be able to make this an oasis for folks that our homeless shelter system hasn't been able to address. And I do want to recognize Bevan Dufty, but before I say that, you know, something that I've learned in the policy world is that HR is policy. And the mayor made his commitment to taking on homelessness by hiring Bevan Dufty to be doing this work. Bevan was notorious as a Board of Supervisor, and many of us are intimidated by the level of his public engagement. He responded to every single email. No phone call was too small for him to take. No ask was too small for him to respond to. And for him to be the person that is now addressing our residents with no homes and with nothing in our city, that level of public service is being partnered with that community is incredibly important. And I know he brought a lot of folks together. I see Episcopal Community Services, Homeless Youth Alliance, La Colectiva, Shanti, HSA, of course, Supervisor David Campos' office, Coalition on Homelessness, and also St. James Infirmary, to really make sure we're providing services that we haven't traditionally provided in our shelters. And I saw it, I went to MNRC to get my placement at Next Door Shelter, and I saw it when I stayed there that night. If you were disabled, it was challenging. If I had a boyfriend that I didn't want to leave behind, would I go into shelter? If I had friends that I was living on the streets with, would I come into shelter? All these things that is going to be addressed in this pilot program. I'm really excited to see the outcomes that we're going to make, but also the trust that we're going to begin to build with folks on our street. So I'm really excited. Thanks to everyone that was involved in making this a reality.
So I'd like to call out the members of the HOPE team. So first off, Muhammad has finally forgiven me, but I stole Sam Dodge from the Department of Public Works. And where's Sam? Sam has just done an amazing job of being the quarterback for this process here. I'd like to also acknowledge Dee Scheck-Snyder, who's here. Dee, get around. Christine Keener, who does amazing work in our office as well. Everybody loves Christine. I want to acknowledge Santiago Lerma, who's joined our team as a community liaison and has just done amazing work. And then we have brought on board, HOPE has a director of the Navigation Center, someone who was involved in opening Mission Neighborhood Resource Center and worked there for 10 years, went on to go back east to school, work in New York City, and is now coming back and to be right in the center and making sure it's all working. Julie Ledbetter, who's right here. So we not only have the mayor here, but we have the Public Works Director Emeritus in the mayor, and so he wants to get this tour going. And so I just want to say the police are here, Chief Sir is here. The mayor mentioned Jeff Adachi. Jeff had already been to this site. He's going to help clear people's records. A lot of the homeless outreach officers who are here, who are both public safety and social workers, committed to helping connect people, and I know they're excited about bringing resources. And I want to thank, in the spirit of what the mayor represents in trying to work with all corners of our city, that the Coalition on Homelessness is here and that they've committed to help us do outreach and help encourage people to take advantage of the services that we're providing. So I want to thank everyone for being here, part of this success. Scott Walton is here, and his colleague Joyce Crum is not here, but under the leadership of Trent Rohr, the Human Services Agency has just done an incredible job of contracting out, bringing on board providers that we're going to have. Dave Curto, who's here from HSA. And as Supervisor Kim acknowledged, the contract for the 24/7 nuts and bolts was won by a collaborative of Mission Neighborhood Resource Center and Episcopal Community Services. They'll be working with the Homeless Youth Alliance, St. James Infirmary, and other partners with city departments to gather. So now Mohammed and the mayor are going to start off a tour for the press, and anyone is welcome to come to any of the bungalows that are here and see the residential bungalows, the community space. We're going to have food accessible 24 hours for people who have been living under freeways and staying up all night and sleeping during the day, and the treatment facilities we have here. Thank you all, and we look forward to the best is yet to come. Thank you so much.